Have you ever imagined what it would be like to live forever? What if you woke up one day after swallowing a pill full of medical nanobots, only to discover they've just unlocked the path to an indefinite physical existence? Ever since the dawn of civilization, living an eternal life has fascinated many of us. Throughout the ages, kings and emperors have invested vast sums of treasure to seek out the ultimate source of immortality. Yes, immortality is the topic of this video, and I invite you to hear my impressions of this profound subject. So, pull up a seat, sit back, and enjoy this presentation. Now, before we get into the heart of this discussion, I'd just like to give my own disclaimer to you, the viewer. I'm not a doctor, scientist, or philosopher, as I am simply expressing my knowledge and beliefs in regards to this deep subject. Everyone from all walks of life has an opinion to some degree, and I'm very interested in the kind of discussion immortality generates. With that said, let's get into it. As much as the idea of eternal life excites us, there is still much skepticism among scholars, theologians, and scientists. The fact that we've never discovered the right methods cause many to speculate if we'll ever reach the point towards everlasting life. But now, there seems to be hope, as advances in medical research during the past few decades have led to miraculous breakthroughs. Over the past 100 years, the average human lifespan has increased by at least 3 or 4 decades. At the time of this recording in 2023, the world average, according to the United Nations, is 73 years, and it continues to increase annually. Now, what will lead us to live until the age of 100, or perhaps 120, even 200 and beyond? Let's discuss what's on the horizon. Right now, in spite of all the scientific and technological advancements that we've achieved, we still have limited means to maximize the human lifespan. Of course, a healthy lifestyle will contribute. Eating the right foods full of antioxidants, along with intermittent fasting and regular exercise, are all beneficial for our bodies. If you live in a wealthy, industrialized nation, the standard of living also plays a vital part. Infrastructure, laws and regulations, and federal, state, or provincial social programs provide assistance to everyone in need. More companies are adopting a 4-day work week schedule for employees, leaving them more time to recuperate from the toxic stress that undermines their health and well-being. All these raise the quality of life to some degree, but what do we expect in the future? By 2030, we should see radical new technologies coming to the forefront. Perhaps the greatest harbinger will be none other than medical nanobots. If it can be achieved, nanobots will be able to target and eliminate viruses and cancer cells. They can repair damaged nerves and organ tissue. They may even be able to augment brain power. As we age, our cells gradually lose ability to replicate themselves. But with nanobot technology, that can potentially be reversed. If someone sustains a minor injury, they can command their nanobot inhabitants to heal it within minutes. In my opinion, visits to the doctor and the emergency ward can be drastically reduced if we choose to host these microscopic robots in our bodies. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? But here's one caveat, however. If everyone on this planet had nanobots swimming in their bloodstream, how would we cope against dwindling resources and living space? The answer lies beyond our frontier. Eventually, we'd have to move beyond Earth to colonize the whole solar system. Our planet, as it stands now, won't be able to sustain billions of immortal human beings indefinitely. Mars and Venus would have to be terraformed to meet our demands for consumption, and all the moons of every planet would have to be colonized. There's also the concept of having our minds being uploaded to a supercomputer or android robot, securing our memories for many more millennia. If the soul can be transferred from flesh to machine, could we still express emotions as fluently? Would we have to seek means of survival from charging stations instead of food and water? As you can imagine, immortality would introduce many logistical challenges. An ethical question also arises on this subject. Is it right to live forever? Would most of us really want to physically exist for all of eternity? After all, one would have a lot of time to reflect on their past, only to have karma catch up to them. Sooner or later, so many traumatic memories would accumulate to the point where they're too unbearable. Everything one wanted to experience, everything one wanted to accomplish would be fulfilled, leading to perpetual boredom. This could even lead to depression. Achieving immortality may be the ultimate achievement for many of us, but the sense of triumph would only be short term. In the relative timeline of all of human existence, it would only amount to a dopamine rush. If we were to extend the gift of eternal life, even to convicts locked up in supermax prisons, their added psychological torture would be too heavy. The idea of eternal life has raised another insight within me. Should this also be extended to our pets, as well as the whole animal kingdom? Sure, every pet owner loves their furry companions to pieces. I myself own 2 black cats who are so dear to me. It's as if they're my own children. But just contemplate, how would an animal cope with living forever? What is worse? Unlike humans, who are able to make a conscious choice for being immortal, animals cannot make such a distinction. Would it really be fair, then, to our pets to just simply unconsciously accept everlasting life? These are just some of the many concerns that arise. You may have heard the story of the Philosopher's Stone. In antiquity, legend had it that alchemists would be able to melt gold into an elixir capable of eternal life. Whoever possessed it would unlock the deepest meanings of the universe and existence. A massive spiritual transformation would be bestowed onto the one lucky enough to acquire the stone, melt it, and drink from it. Another legend comes from Christian lore, the quest for the Holy Grail. It is said that Jesus drank from this at the Last Supper, and whoever did so would be granted eternal life. Much of the idea of the immortal being stems from fantasy and religion, but with radical advancements through science and technology, will we finally be able to fulfill our ultimate destiny? A renowned software engineer by the name of Ray Kurzweil predicted that by 2045, man and machine would reach singularity, a major step towards the integration of flesh with machine. This would inevitably lead to immortality. What is quite remarkable is that 86% of Kurzweil's predictions have come true. If this really comes into fruition, then we only have a few years to prepare for this monumental event. Before I conclude this discussion, I'll give you my own brutally honest conviction. Do I want to live forever? The answer is no. I wouldn't mind living to being a centenarian, but 100 years is enough. Even when the stars in this physical universe become naturally extinguished over the course of trillions of years, man will face his final fate. Unless we're able to teleport to other realms of the multiverse, our universe will eventually fade out, incapable of sustaining life. Death is always inevitable. All things must end. Death is a paradox. It's what makes one appreciate the sanctity of life. But if you reach the higher spiritual levels, you'll realize that you already are immortal. I keep saying this in several of my videos, along with other spiritual YouTubers, but you're an infinite, eternal being living a temporary physical existence. Death is just an illusion. When you leave this physical dimension, you'll reincarnate into another. Even when these technologies arrive, there's still the possibility of death through critical injury. A serious accident could still incapacitate us. If our minds get uploaded to a supercomputer, sooner or later, it will become perpetual torture for many. When the lifespan is increased 1,000-fold, the memories recurring over and over will be too psychologically detrimental. So, when you finally have the opportunity to become immortal within the next couple of decades, think hard. Is this what you really want? You still have time to do the introspection. Once you take that pill or agree to that memory upload, there's no turning back. But hey, at least you'll have a lot more time to enjoy living life to the fullest. No matter how long we get to live, we must love life, for it is the greatest gift from God. So, this has been my video about immortality. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please also subscribe. I'm Sean Van Deveen. Thank you for watching. Wishing you peace, much love, and namaste. Godspeed.